Hello everyone and welcome to VG Pub special coverage of the PSP launch. I'm staff member Gruel Dale Coolis, along with Chris Hartster, aka Roadkill, and our special guest, fellow VG Pub 4 member, Joey, aka Dark Assassin. Hi guys, welcome to the show. This is our special PSP coverage. The PSP just came out on March 24th, this past Thursday. Let's start off and start talking about the design of the unit itself. What are your guys' thoughts of the PSP? How do you like it? What do you think about the button placement?
Pure sexy.
Yes, it does have very one slick design, I can say about that.
It is pretty decent.
It's
Good for handhelds and all that stuff, you know. It's not too bad, especially compared to the DS.
Well, the button placement, you got your square, your X, circle, and triangle. It's laid out a lot like the PlayStation controller.
Yeah, with the only exception being there is no L2, R2, L3, R3.
Yeah, there are no shoulder buttons.
But there is an analog stick.
Yeah, there's an analog stick. There's only 2 shoulder buttons, not 4. 1 analog stick. And well, analog stick might be stretching it a bit. It's more like a little nub where you get a move, which you can barely move around.
Well, you can slide it around. It is pretty cool for a handheld to have one.
Yeah, it's probably one of the first handhelds to have it, but some of the games I tried that out on, we'll get into this later, it's a little too sensitive. Thankfully, the digital pad is still intact, and from what I heard, it's hard to use in that Darkstalkers fighting game, but for the most part, it worked well for me in the racing games and other games. It has a whole bunch of other buttons on here too. There's a music button, a picture button to adjust the brightness of the backlit screen.
And also, it's a button with a little musical note. If you hold that button down, you'll mute the system. Same with the screen button. If you hold that down, it'll turn the display off.
And there's the home button, which will take you out of any game.
Yeah, but at least it asks you yes or no.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
true.
it'll ask you to quit out the game.
If you accidentally press it.
Yeah, that's happened to me accidentally when I'm controlling games with the thumbstick thumb accidentally slid across a home button.
And then nowadays, if you want to see what your volume's at, when you press the home button, you'll see your little volume at the bottom.
Yep,
Cool.
you will. There's also volume up and down buttons. It's not a thumb wheel like a lot of other portable devices have, like the Game Boy.
Alright, let's get some of these rumors out of the way, what people say about the Japanese launch. The sticky buttons, smudgy screens. Has any of this happened to you guys? What are your thoughts?
Well, the screen is easy to smudge, but it comes with a nice little cloth, and it doesn't scrub really.
Polishing cloth to get rid of it. Or what I highly recommend is they got screen guards out by Pelican. They're $10. You get 2 of them, one's for backup. Put them right on your screen. It protects it from glare and smudges. Works really well. Reduces the amount of times you gotta smudge against it. It works really well. I highly recommend you go out and pick one up.
And in the Japanese version, you have the sticky square button. Sony has kind of redesigned the internal workings of the PSP, so that's no longer an issue.
I do notice, however, like the triangle, X, and circle buttons, they press down really well. The square button doesn't stick, but it feels just slightly different when you press it down.
When you press it down, it's at an angle if you look at it, but
it still works well, though. It's no problem so far.
They couldn't get around that because of the design of the interior.
Notice the L and R buttons are really wiggly, though.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
I like the L and R buttons.
And they're transparent.
Yeah, it's kind of unique. Yeah.
Actually, no, they're not.
You can see right through them.
You can see that's what transparency means.
No, never mind. You shut up.
Joey.
Alrighty. Yeah. No,
also, it's got some other buttons. Of course, your power button. But what's unique about the power button is a lot of Sony products have this. If you push it down, there's a hold, which means if you press any button on the PSP, it won't accept it. It's like if you're listening to music and you have the PSP in its pouch, so you don't accidentally stop your music or something. It's also
really
got. You can also turn the wireless LAN on or off.
Helps save on the battery life.
Yeah, you nearly double the battery life if you have it off.
Yep, and then you got your little port for the USB cable to connect to the PC and transfer your music and movie files.
One interesting thing also about the PSP is it has some DC out ports on it. It's by the USB port. And what those are is to power peripherals. that go beyond the power of the USB port, which there's nothing out there that uses them right now, but it'll be interesting to see what devices actually do use them.
And then also, I don't think the DS has a feature of taking out the battery pack and putting another one in, do they?
Well, I think it does, but it's nowhere near as easy as the PSP.
Oh yeah, because you actually have to unassemble
You have
it,
to, yeah.
or deassemble it, or whatever you want to call it.
And also the PSP has infrared, which is currently no games utilize it, but
Like the old Game Boy Color infrared.
Yeah.
like infrared like a TV remote control. So maybe you'll actually have a program on here that you can control your TV with the PSP. Don't know.
That's a little bit, too lazy, I guess.
Yeah.
But you gotta have something in there for your CD player. Be like, okay, that's awesome.
But also, if you notice, next to the port where you put your headphones in, there's an extra little port there. That's where you can put the remote. Yep. The remote's actually pretty cool if you're using this for an MP3 player.
Skip the tracks. You can turn the screen off to really help on battery life too, and just use it pretty much primarily as a music player.
You could.
The act of putting games in is pretty easy. There's an open switch. The games themselves, it's not just a disc you put in, like a portable CD player. The discs actually come in a little plastic cartridge.
Wasn't that to stop it from popping out or something like that?
No, I think it really helps protects the game so that you're not always taking them out and prevents a lot of scratches from getting on there.
Yeah.
It's really great, really innovative by Sony and should help.
And I have not gotten the disc to pop out during gameplay.
That is also true with me.
We can make it happen though.
Yeah, you can make it happen.
Okay, Chris, start playing. Just smack that thing in the back, okay?
And also, the PSP is pretty durable. Unlike what some people say.
I dropped it once.
It's got pretty big. I don't know if I'd really want to keep it in my jeans, but if you got nice big cargo pockets, it's a safe bet.
I wouldn't subject it to a jackhammer, but I think it can survive a couple drops from a couple feet on a carpet surface or something.
Better than a cell phone.
Yeah.
I dropped it in the little carrying case for my, my jacket. I was like, oh my god.
And it broke.
How did it survive? Did it take the fall pretty good?
It took the fall. It didn't even dent it.
Alrighty. That pretty much covers the whole design of the unit. Next we want to move on to the value pack. The whole thing that ships with the PSP, all the accessories. It comes with 32 megabyte memory stick, some headphones, or earphones actually.
Yeah, with the remote.
Yeah, with the remote.
You get the remote with it.
You get a battery pack with the charger, a sampler disc, which there's no actual gameplay demos on it. It's just videos of gameplay.
Video footage of the games. It's got some music videos. It's got some previews.
About 10 music videos, I think.
I don't remember.
It's more than that. It's like...
there's a good amount of music videos on it. Yeah, I want to say 12.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's about 12 because there's 8 on one side and then there's 4 on the other.
Yep. And some songs and stuff too, and trailers for movies on there.
Yeah, and also for the first 10 million, or 10 million, 1 million customers, you get the Spider-Man 2 UMD. This isn't the game, it's actually the movie.
Yep.
Which actually looks really good on the PSP.
Alright, now the main thing I want to focus on, this is $250 for all these accessories, and if you remember, the Japanese launch of the PSP just included the PSP itself, and it retailed for, in US dollars, around 185 US dollars, converted from the Japanese yen. Now, do you think the difference here, that $65, do you think all this stuff we listed, do you think that covers the $65 to $70 in difference? Do you think that's a good amount worth of accessories? Is it worth it?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I'd say if you factor in Spider-Man 2, yes.
Things in Japan are always cheaper here, or always cheaper than here, even if you do convert yen to dollars.
Because they make them there, that's why, So they have to ship them all over here.
They don't have to do that imported.
Export stuff.
But Rick Heaton, the administrator of another site, he imported the Japanese PSP when it first came out in Japan, and he ended up paying, I think, it was close to $400 American for it. And he had the value pack from Japan.
Yeah. I myself, I think it's a bit overpriced. I think it'd be more reasonably priced around the $200 to $225 mark. $250, yeah, a little too much for me, but I still got it anyways.
Maybe if it came with a bigger stick, like a 64 or 128 meg video or card, maybe.
That 32 megs, it's good for games. That's what I got. I picked up a 512 meg myself for MP3s and movies on there. But
this is also, like Dale mentioned, it's not just a video game system. It plays MP3s, it plays movies, and you can use it for picture viewer. I've even, some coworkers, I brought in and showed them, and they're not interested in video games at all. And when I told them the price, they'd like to buy one. Just based off the multimedia that it can do.
It also has the slideshow ability, so you don't really have all that loading time in between. Pretty cool.
Yeah, you can transfer movie files and music files. Movie files, you gotta have them in Sony's exclusive MP4 formats.
It's not Sony exclusive. Just the PSP is pretty much the first.
The exclusive movie format of the PSP. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Which converting the movie files can be kind of rough.
It's hard to find some real reliable encoding devices on the internet right now. I got some, but I ran into a lot of errors in the converting. I got some, but
movies are really picky with all the various codecs we have and everything. But you can get pretty much any movie to work on the PSP. It just depends on how much time you want to spend converting it.
Yeah. You get 512 megabyte stick. I got like little 2-minute odd movie clips on there and stuff. So I think I might be able to get one like hour and a half movie on there, but that'd probably be it'd probably be very little room left over. I wanted to get a 1 gig stick, but I couldn't find those anywhere.
Nope, not yet.
I heard they got 2 gig and 4 gig sticks in the works.
4 gig is coming out. I think the 2 gig is actually out right now. 4 gig will probably be like $400.
So how long till that comes out?
No idea.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other PSP accessories out. I got a couple other ones myself. I didn't like the carrying case. That's one thing I forgot to mention that also came in the value pack. Carrying case that came with the PSP. It just fits the PSP itself.
Yeah, it's just a slip pouch that the PSP goes in.
I guess it's nice to put it in there and put in your pocket so you know it's kind of a little protective for it. But I wanted something else to house it in, to house my accessories in, to carry it along with me, you know. And I got this one carrying case by a brand company called Game Stuff. It has 3 pouches in there, a pretty big back side of the pouch where you can fit the PSP itself in. The middle pouch, I can fit the battery pack in, the battery charger, and in the last pouch is where it holds up to 6 UMD discs, my earphones, and the remote for them. It's alright. The middle pouch can be a pretty snug fit for the battery and battery pack charger, but other than that, it's alright, and you know, it's perfect if you want to carry your PSP on the go if you don't want all your accessories without worrying about all the extra packaging and crap.
I picked up the starter kit by Pelican.
What all comes with that?
It's $50, but it comes with a little carrying case. It can hold up to 4 games, memory card, and your PSP. But I noticed that once I put 4 games in there, the PSP doesn't really want to fit. So I just use the slip pouch for carrying the PSP. Carry all the games and accessories in the
pretty much
carrying
good for
case.
games and accessories.
It also comes with a power brick, which is external battery for your PSP that you can plug into the DC port.
Now that supposedly doubles the life of your battery for the PSP, right?
Supposedly, I haven't tested it yet. It comes with another cleaning cloth, like everything does.
They actually are really good.
Yeah, my screen guards came with a polished cloth.
But having glasses, I have no shortage of those.
Oh, yeah.
It also came with some headphones. The headphones aren't really noteworthy. I actually prefer the ones that came with the PSP to those.
USB cable too, right?
Yeah, it came with a USB cable. It came with a car adapter.
That's always good to have on the road.
Yeah. It also came with. Let's see. It came with
the screen guards also, right?
Yeah, it came with 1 screen guard, I believe. But I didn't put it on yet. I might later in the future.
I highly recommend to put that screen guard on, man. If you want to avoid cleaning smudges off every half hour, that's the thing.
I got glasses, I have to do that anyway. It also came with, where did it come? Oh yeah, a UMD disc cleaner, which...
Some casings for it too, right?
Yeah, it came with 4 little slip covers for the UMD disc. You know, the UMD, there is a portion in the back where the CD is actually exposed, so it covers up that.
So how much did that cost, about?
It was $50.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth it for $50? Would you recommend it?
Well, the power brick alone is $20, and it is a nice case that comes with it. That's pretty much the only 2 noteworthy things that I got.
Think the other things that come with it justify the $50 price tag?
I don't know. If you, I don't know. If you find it like with $20 off coupon or something, $10 off, then maybe.
Yeah, we had some of those on him. So.
Yeah, but otherwise, I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Joey, any certain accessories you picked up for your PSP?
I'm cheap, Dale. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I'm figuring on buying a screen guard here and probably 512 memory card. I do like the size of them, you know, because they are really, really small. They're like, I don't know, not even an inch long, maybe.
Probably about the size of a penny,
Yeah.
but thick or thinner than a penny.
Thinner than a penny, and maybe a 1.5 times size, about an inch long, maybe. It's really nice. So, I mean, even if you have like a carrying case, you know, and if you have like the 32 megabyte just for your games, you can also have this one for like your MP3s, or just have it all on that.
Movies, pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing that's noteworthy to mention is when the SanDisk memory stick I bought, it came with a little case for it, a nice little case to help carry along, so you don't drop it and misplace it. You know, the one that comes with the value pack doesn't come with a little plastic.
Yeah, it comes with a little plastic slip cover or something.
A little sleeve, you know. Not this one's like an actual plastic case. You can pop out the memory stick.
And this one's about the size of a PlayStation PS2 memory card, so it's actually about a bit larger than the.
Kind of ironic.
Yeah, it's about the size of a PS2, PS1 memory card, you know.
But I think they just make it that size so you don't lose it.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
It makes it really nice. There's a whole bunch of other PSP accessories out too. There's a lot of battery packs you can buy, backup batteries. There's many polishing cloths you can count.
Yeah.
And charger kits. There are a lot of starter kits out there. And any accessories you guys plan on buying?
What I plan on buying is pretty soon Logitech will have their, I believe it's called Pocket Gear or Play Gear line coming out here. It starts coming out like mid-April, I believe. And it comes with, you get a carrying case. It's reasonably priced stuff. And Logitech, I like them. Good quality stuff.
Usually a reliable brand.
Yeah.
And also, there's probably going to be one thing that you won't have to buy. It's going to be, you know how like the Game Boys have always had the little lights for the clip on your Game Boy or anything like that?
Like worm lights?
Yeah,
like worm lights. Like the PSP, it's so good that you can actually play it in the dark and you don't have to worry about that.
Because of the backlit screen,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Which
awesome things.
Backlit screen's good, and you know the great thing about it, there's 3 brightness levels you can adjust. To
4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah, even the lowest level is sufficient for me. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
I own the GBA SP and the DS, and I prefer the backlighting of the PSP to those.
Yeah.
It's just the GBA SP is front lit, it's not backlit.
Now, one interesting accessory I think I think it's inevitable they'll have is, right now PS2 has several games you can use a USB cable to connect to a digicam to import pictures of certain PS2 games, you know, like the Thug Underground series, you could get your picture on your Creative Skater, or the Monster Rancher games, you get your own pictures on skaters there. And you guys think that Sony will have little features for their games for the PS2 for like connectivity, much like the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance has?
I'm sure they'll have some connectivity, but I don't think they'll take it as far as Nintendo. I think they learned from Nintendo's error with connectivity.
Won't try to make it as hype it up as much as.
No.
I look forward to it. I think there should be some, you know,
Yeah,
if they can get it right, you know, use it right.
Yeah.
But
They could do something unique with it, actually, though. Like you know how they have the iCam?
iToy?
Yeah, iToy, I don't know why. But, like, they can make something that maybe you could attach it to your PSP. So if you held it at, like, if you're holding at an angle so you're looking at it, like, right in front of you, you can see your feet, you know, or you can adjust it so it'd be on your feet.
Yeah.
So then
I
it'd
can see
actually
that.
be more of, like, a virtual reality thing. Like, they have that kind of, like, board games, you know, like, where you're on a board and you're, like, just trying to get onto things, you know. It could be kind of neat. If they could ever pull that off. I don't know if that would be very possible.
You think it's a PSP accessory you'd like to see in the future?
Yeah, if they can make something like that, you know, so it can actually tell if you're walking, running in the game, you know. I don't know.
Or a good idea is like what Square Enix had with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, where you could actually hook up the GBA and use that for a controller, and you could actually see your stats, your character's stats on the GBA screen rather than
Have
having
more room on the gameplay screen.
rather than cluttering up the gameplay screen. I think that PS2, it'd be neat to have connectivity like that between the PSP, PS2, but I don't think they should make it like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, where you have to have, if you want to do multiplayer, you have to do, 4 GBAs, 4 connection cables.
Yeah. Alright, now the PSP came with a huge launch lineup of over 20 games. Now we all ourselves here tried out several of them. One of the first ones I got was a highly addictive puzzle game called Moonies.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you officially pronounce it.
Yeah, pronouncing the title is basically another puzzle within itself.
Yeah, it comes from Ubisoft, imported from Japan by popular demand. It's like one really cracked out puzzle game.
It's like if Tetris and Rez had a kid, you would get Lumens.
Yeah, it's like the background music is all these funky techno trance beats, and as you drop the 2x2 squares into the drop box, kind of like Tetris, but you gotta match up the colors and knock out squares. As you knock out more squares and combo strings, it changes the background music, and wow, it's just amazing. It immerses you into the experience, and
also changes the speed. And
it's also a neat game.
You can get nightmares over that game.
yeah, it's really hard. It's a really hard, challenging puzzle game. Probably one of the best kinds since Tetris. And it's really innovative and unique.
Really original.
Yeah,
If you're into puzzle games, I highly recommend you track this game down.
it's not too bad.
Alright, what's some of the games you guys got? Chris,
Well,
you got Ridge Racer, right?
Yeah, one of the first things I got when I got the DS, I popped in Ridge Racer, and that is actually a really good display of the PSP's graphical power.
Yeah, I agree. I tried it out, man. Those cars, the tracks, they look amazing.
It has a constant frame rate, and it gives a good sense of speed.
Yeah, I'd say those are probably some of the best graphics I've seen on the several PSP games I tried out.
I've been a fan of the Ridge Racer series.
Now you got
For a
Ridge
long
Racer.
time.
You got Ridge Racer DS, right?
Yes.
How does it compare to that?
Let's not talk about that. There's no contest. PSP version, hands down, best version. Best handheld version.
And then there is one weird thing too. I got Need for Speed Rivals, and the thing about it is Need for Speed, like how they have the customizations for like PS2 or Xbox. You can always like customize your skirts, like the left, right, one, make them different, and then also your bumper and your I don't know, pretty much anything you want on the car.
Well, Need for Speed Underground has a lot more car customization options than Ridge Racer. I understand Ridge Racer has just a few basic options.
But then on the PSP version, the only really disturbing thing about this is it's only a full body kit that you can do. It's like, say that company makes like this type of stuff, you can only take it from that. It's not like you can take certain things from certain companies and put it on your car. You have to have the whole body kit from that company.
That probably is an issue with the car manufacturers, not
No.
I would think
you were
that,
able to do it on the version.
given the constraints of the UMD, it can only hold 1.8 gigs of data, so
Which is,
I can understand that.
Yeah, there's some limitations that
kinda-
size format has.
it's kind of a little mad about that, but amazingly, like, the graphics are actually kind of better on the PSP, because on the Xbox version, which I had, like, it'd kind of, like, have this mode, like, whenever you're driving, say you're driving at 10 miles per hour, or, like, 110 miles per hour, it's kind of the same, and it gave you this mode where it looked like you're driving really fast.
Yeah, like blurry graphics and all.
Not blurry graphics, but just kind of like...
Kind of like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, like you're in the motion, you know? Which, it kind of, like, made it look like crap after a while, because you just noticed it looked so distorted. But then the PSP version here, it doesn't do that, and the graphics are a lot more clear. And even though, like, they're not as high-tech, they're almost better.
Yeah, I like how it looks. Cars are not as good as Ridge Racer, but they still look pretty impressive on the PSP.
And then also the PSP version, I kind of like the gameplay just a little bit more than the actual, like, Xbox version.
Cars handle a little bit better?
Yeah, well, not that, it's just it's kind of like, it's more funner, you know, it's more harder, and it's not, like, as easy, like, you can just easily, like, hit a corner at, like, 45 degrees, you know, and you'll just slide off of it. It's not near the same, which is kind of nice. I don't know, because I've always been a fan of the Need for Speeds.
No, from what I understand, this PSP version of Underground, they take away the main story mode, which is debuted in the latest console iteration.
Yeah. Well, all the story mode was pretty much you
drive around a big map and look at challenges, right?
Well, it wasn't even, they kind of ruined it for you because, like, the finding the challenges, there was this, like, little cell phone you had which would tell you where the challenges were, and it would even, like, give you I forget what the word for it is, but you press something, and it would give you, like, okay, turn right here, you know, like those new things in cars you have. It got really disturbing after a while, because it's just easy to find this stuff. And then
that kind of helps the portable format, you know, you don't got to worry about looking for a race, you just pick a race, what kind of mode you want, and just get in and go.
Yeah, but I don't know, Dale, it ruins the fun of it, you know, I mean, even though, you know, it was, like, got a little annoying to find places, you know, like, exactly where they were at.
But do you think it works for the PSP version? Easier to pick a race to hop in and go?
Yeah, it works.
Get a quick racing while you're on the bus or just waiting for something to do?
Yeah, like the story mode like that they had in there, all it was basically like free race, like in Tony Hawk, how they had the freestyle, you know, free skate. That's all it was.
Yeah. Even
though it was pretty cool, it wasn't like the greatest thing.
Yeah. Another racing game we got to try out on launch here was Wipeout Pure, and it supposedly carries on the legacy of the PlayStation versions. Chris got the chance to try that out the most. What do you think about that?
If you ever played F-Zero or Extreme G Series, then you're going to like Wipeout Pure. It's a futuristic racer. You don't drive cars, you drive hovercraft. And the tracks aren't exactly, you know, land-based. You can go up in the air, you can go under the water. And
nice big jumps.
That futuristic, imaginative tracks, and it just, the environment just looks beautiful.
Yeah, I liked it. You know, you can use weapons, you know, it has a little weapon factor power-ups, kind of like Mario Kart.
Yeah. And Road Rash, you know, one of the best racing games ever.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple things, little gripes that kind of had a little trouble dealing with at first. I think the sense of speed wasn't there. You know, the tracks are really narrow. If you bump into a corner, even though the screen says you're still going like 200 miles per hour or whatever, it didn't feel like it at all.
Yeah, I know.
The sense of speed just isn't there, you know, unless you're hitting the turbos, you know. Then at times it seems you're going really fast, and other times it seems you're like at a standstill trying to catch back up.
Yeah, and the controls of Wipeout it takes a lot of getting used to.
Yeah. High learning curve, you know. Eventually I was able to get into the races. I liked it. Alright, next game we tried out here was the only RPG available on the PSP launch called Untold Legends. It's made by the same people, Snowblind Studios, who also made the Dark Alliance and Champions games on the PS2. It's a hack and slash RPG, much in the same vein as Diablo and the aforementioned Dark Alliance and Champions titles. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I thought it actually handled really well for being like on a handheld. I mean, it wasn't like I don't know, like Final Fantasy, you know, where you kind of just run around and it's like simple. Since the 3D environment, it actually made it kind of neat, you know. It's like not too bad, but not too great. Had a pretty good like ability to be able to attack what you want to attack, you know. It didn't like say, okay, I'm trying to hit this guy, but you totally miss him. It didn't have that thing, you know. It didn't have glitches in it all, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, we tried the multiplayer game
Yeah, Chris
Dale and
tried
I-
the wireless multiplayer.
And it handled pretty well. There was a little bit lag when you go to, like talk to somebody, when one character goes to talk to somebody, or you go to save your game or something, but that's understandable.
Yeah, they did some things to get the action handled more fluently, like unless it's a boss character, when you kill your common bad guy in a dungeon, they don't stay on the ground, they just kind of melt in the ground and disappear.
Yeah, but of a launch game, I don't expect that much.
One thing I did like about it, it's not like console versions, both players don't have to be on the same screen at the same time. You can explore wherever you want in the dungeon.
But that also gives you a problem, like if one guy goes into, or accidentally stumbles onto a boss fight, you're like, hurry up, dude, get over here.
Yeah, you're stuck on your own bad of luck. There are some changes they added to it. There's no voice acting for the storyline. Kind of takes away from the whole experience of this story. But, it doesn't hurt things too much. The text is alright. Still a pretty good storyline. Your standard fare.
Yeah.
And there's a random dungeon generator in this one. Every time you enter the dungeon, it's a completely different experience. Just kind of like in Diablo.
Which would be awesome if Diablo actually made another RPG anytime here soon.
Was
So,
it?
I mean Diablo 3. Supposedly there was someone coming out with one.
Yeah,
Blizzard.
who knows? Maybe one day we'll see it on the PSP.
That would be awesome.
Diablo 2 on the PSP.
That'd be a great port. Did you hear that, Blizzard?
Yeah. Come on, Blizzard, you can do it,
I have Diablo for the PlayStation, Even though it's really outdated for right now, it's still a fun game to have somebody come over to play with,
Also,
play it.
Speaking of Untold Legends, if you do love the Champion series for the PS2 or the Baldur's Gate series for the Xbox, PS2, and I think does GameCube have them?
Yeah, they got the first Dark Alliance.
Anyways, if you like those games, you're gonna like this. It's got basically pretty much the same thing, like to equip your characters and to find out different quests and to see your stats. The same kind of menu screens.
Yeah, one thing I like about it is you don't have to have go to a teleporter to go to town. You can pause the game, go right to town to sell all the extra armor and weapons you picked up to get rid of that extra weight.
And then you can teleport right back to the exact point.
The same spot where you don't gotta walk all the way in the dungeon to where you were before.
Also, there's only 4 classes.
Yeah, there's only 4 characters.
Which is kind of disappointing, but I guess it's a launch game, so.
Yeah, who knows?
Don't expect much.
Launch lineup. I'm really impressed with most of the graphics thus far in the game, especially Ridge Racer. This is how things are looking right now. Just imagine how they'll be 2 to 3 years from now when they find better ways to use the hardware and get things looking just. Right now, I'd say the graphics are right around late Dreamcast, early PS2 quality. Some are even better, especially Ridge Racer. Things are looking really good so far with the games. There's a whole bunch of other games that came out that we didn't get a chance to try out yet. There's a lot of other sports games out right now. EA, they got their NBA Street and NFL Street games. I think that's actually a wise choice to bring the Street titles.
I like the Street series. It's not quite.
More easier to pick up and play, not as more heavy simulation based.
Yeah, it's an arcade game. It's not a simulation.
You don't got to worry about watching a billion type of rules for getting penalized and whatnot. And EA, they still got a couple of simulation based sports games too, like the Tiger Woods games. And I saw it in video in action. It looks a lot like this PS2 counterpart, and a lot better than the DS version. And if you're into if you love your Tiger Woods, you'll definitely get your golf fix with the PSP version.
One thing I'd like to see on the PSP is, you can store your music on the memory cards. I'd like to see kind of like how the Xbox has, where you can actually customize soundtracks.
That'd be interesting.
Possibly in the future.
I think they will do that. It makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be a good selling point for it.
Have to wait and see how it shows up.
I still think it's funny that the PSP's launch games is still more than the DS.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. There's 24 launch games for the PSP. The DS has been out for 4 months, and I think there's 19, maybe 20 titles currently available on the DS.
Well, the DS is having that touchscreen is an innovation, but not a lot of.
The software really requires a lot of it could use a lot. I think the games have longer development cycles to
Yeah.
make the most out of the DS.
It has two screens to power instead of just one. So.
And then also for the DS, the actual screen that you use for gameplay, it's not near as big as a PSP.
No, nowhere near.
And
It's still a pretty good size.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's plenty wide.
I still prefer playing GBA games on my DS rather than on GBA. Even though the GBA screens are bigger.
Get an SP.
Yeah, I have one, but the DS has backlighting, PSP or GBA SPS frontlit, which it just looks a lot better on the DS.
Gotcha. Let's see, any other launch titles you guys think look interesting, or any other games coming out of the PSP you think?
maybe Tony Hawk,
Yeah.
I'd like to see how that actually pulled out.
From what I understand, the Tony Hawk Underground 2, it's a straight conversion of the one that hit consoles last year, and I saw the game in action. Didn't get a chance to play it yet. Graphics looked right up there on PS, just a couple notches under, but almost PS2 quality. I was impressed.
Well, I'm an RPG fan, and Square Enix is finally releasing a Final Fantasy VII game for the PSP.
Oh yeah.
That'll be awesome.
That'll be awesome.
I'll probably
Like
will
Final
buy that.
Fantasy VII itself, or is it a spin-off?
No, it's a spin-off where Vincent is your main character, so
Yeah.
Cloud.
The best guy from Final Fantasy 2.
There's a whole bunch of other games slated that are already out on PSP for launch. Koei has another installment of Dynasty Warriors. Capcom has a 2D fighter called Dark Stalkers, much of this 2D animated sprites, kind of like in the same vein as Street Fighter. There's a lot of racing and sports games. 989 Sports has NBA basketball game and a Gretzky NHL hockey game. A couple of other games I want to try. I didn't get a chance to try out on launch. I really want to try that Twisted Metal game.
Yes, I want to try that out too.
It looks really good, a lot like Twisted Metal Black, and I heard
I
a lot of
love
good
it.
things about it.
Yeah. Be awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, now guys, how would you compare this to the DS? What would you rather have, the PSP or the DS?
Let's put it this. I sold my DS to get the PSP.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah, the PSP, hands down. If I could have any portable console, any one at all, PSP would be it.
Yeah.
There's no contest between the
Well, both,
PSP.
you gotta admit, both formats do have their advantages
Yes.
and weaknesses. The DS is $100 cheaper.
Yeah,
$150.
But I think, with as much stuff as you can do with the PSP that I can't do with the DS, it's worth it.
Yeah. And if you took a look at all the titles that are coming out within this year, you'll notice that a lot of them are
a lot
mainly
more big name titles.
well, not that, but mainly for the DS. They're Nintendo based. A lot of them are really kiddie-ish games, like the GameCube. That's where they took off, being really kiddie-ish. Or not, not to be mean or anything, but that's what they're basing their whole crowd on.
Yeah.
Pretty much the only DS title I'm looking forward to this year is Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Anyone can play that.
And Mario Tennis.
And forgetting about the new Metroid Prime Hunters, that looks
Yeah,
that
but
looks
I'm
pretty
not really
promising
looking
also.
forward to that.
Metroid was alright. I think they kind of ruined it when they brought it to 3D. I kind of like the 2D basis for the game. That's the only time I really
That's a
liked
new
it.
format.
Side-scroller action.
Games have to be innovative and
Because I thought it was original, and it was actually pretty neat. But
I remember when I got the DS, I have Metroid. What is it? Metroid.
Prime.
I don't remember. Metroid Prime Hunters. I got a demo disc of that, and it's nothing I'd like to play for hours on end, but it's a cool 15-minute diversion.
Some little quick first-person shooter action.
Yeah, it's
kind of too easy.
because they use the stylus to shoot and to jump, and
I have to
it's pretty weird.
I have to say that the DS did a really good job with the actual shooting.
Of course, you don't have to use the stylus, but
The stylus makes it really easy to do shooting. To actually be able to shoot.
it's kind of like having a mouse right there with you.
Yeah, I have to say that they did a really good job at that. But the fact is, DS, they aren't really gonna have any shooter games like GoldenEye come out on it.
No, or Perfect Dark.
So it's really not,
Well, neither-
taking advantage of it.
Yeah, well, the thing about the DS is, even though Nintendo and Sony say they're not officially competing against each other, you know...
Yes, the PSP, or the DS is competing with the Game Boy line itself.
Yeah.
Only Nintendo can compete against itself.
Well, Nintendo even said it's alternative. They said the DS isn't even the successor to the Game Boy Advance.
I wonder if now they're going to split it into two lines, the DS line and the Game Boy line.
Yeah, you never know. Well, actually, it looks like Nintendo's support for a Game Boy Advance is kind of thinning out by the end of the year, so I think within a year or two the Game Boy Advance will be phased out and Nintendo's successor to the Game Boy will be out, which they said is coming up, it's on the horizon.
And also, like, I don't know if you guys went to GameStop or, like, Software Etc. anytime lately, but just to let you know, like, they have, if you trade your Game Boy SP in, you can actually get the DS for only $100. I think this is telling you the weakness of the DS.
Yes. Like, for, you know, like Sony systems. Well, how long did it take the PS2 to drop price finally? Like 2 years?
Yeah, it took
year and a half?
almost 2 years for it to see a price drop. I don't think we'll be seeing one.
And it was only by, well, it was by $100, which is a pretty sizable sum.
Yeah, but still, it took the Xbox to a $100 price cut first to see a drop in price.
To maintain competition.
Yep. And the thing I was getting at before, though, was like, even though they're both portable machines, it's not both deliver different kind of gaming experiences. You know, the DS with its 2 screens and the touch screen, you'll find a lot of different gaming experiences which you won't find on the PSP. You know, I really like that feel, the magic on the DS. And
yeah, that was a cool game.
And games like WarioWare and Yoshi Touch and Go. You know, you're not going to find games like that on the PSP. It's going to deliver a whole different kind of experience. But you know, the burning question is combined, are gamers going to want to spend $400 to get both of them? I don't think so. You know.
No.
And you know, PSP, it's aimed more towards the mainstream casual gamer crowd. I think a lot more people are going to go with the PSP, you know, and right now, it'd probably be the one I recommend more if you're okay with forking over $250 over it. You know, my only complaint about it is, you know, I got some complaints about how it's designed, but overall I like it, but if you could maybe $25, $50 less, I'd easily give it a stronger recommendation, but still, as a stronger game launch lineup, and look, there's a lot more games coming out for it in the future than the DS. You'd probably be safer off going with that.
Yes, I'd say if you like video games, you like portability, and you don't have an MP3 player already, the PSP will more than fit the bill for you.
Joey, what are you going to recommend?
PSP. I already told you I sold my DS.
Yep.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, guys, any other final thoughts you want to say before we conclude things, wrap things up?
This goes out to Namco. We need Tekken for the PSP, ASAP.
Yeah, we need some first-person
shooters.
shooters.
Get SOCOM 2 on there, like SOCOM 3.
Preferably a Tekken Tag.
Yeah, Tekken Tag. I wish there were some first-person shooters for it. I was surprised we're going to get first-person shooters on launch.
There is one coming out.
Give me some portable Unreal
I'd like to
or some portable Quake.
I'd like to see how that would handle, though. Because, I mean, like, if you think about it, it would.
Well,
would be
they put Metroid Prime Hunter on the DS, so
first-person shooters they're doable on the portable stick. They got some early generation ones on the Game Boy Advance with Doom.
I remember playing Doom for the GBA.
I wonder
so they're doable, especially with the power of the PSP and the graphics.
Yes.
I wonder how they'd be able to pull it off though, like a shooter, because it's, you know, the D-pad's.
Yeah, they might have some control issues with only one analog stick in the placement of it.
What they'd have to probably do is have it so like the triangle, circle, X, and square.
That's what the developers are paid for, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Figure this stuff out.
They better figure it out.
It would be pretty easy in a way though, because you'd have triangle, you know, be like move forward, circle, be move right, and then etc. And then your analog stick here, this is what you'd use to aim. And since it's really pressure sensitive, hopefully that they would take the thing off like pressure sensitivity 1 through 10, and then they would like use that just to make it really easily, to be able to shoot or do whatever,
Wow, Joe, you better come up with your own portable console, man.
Well, the PSP, if you're a game developer, like freelance or just coming out of a game development school, you can actually develop your own games for it. Wow. They allow you to run your own games off the PSP.
A little more region-friendly, allow people to come up with their own home.
Yeah, actually it is region-friendly. You can take a Japanese game and play it on the US PSP and vice versa.
Yeah.
Just not movies or music discs. But games are compatible.
There's one thing also for an accessory that I would like. It wouldn't really be an accessory, but it'd be more of a game. Like, you know how you have graphing calculators and like
so you'd like a graphics?
Yeah, no, not graphics. Graphing calculator, right? And how they have all those special features on them. Like, you can even make your own games on a graphing calculator or import games. What I would like to see PSP do is, since they have like the online capability, is make kind of like a program, like a graphing calculator, you know? And so you can even use it as that type of stuff, as like a calculator.
Actually, Sony is developing a calculator for it, I heard. They're also developing a web browser, so you can surf the web with it. They're developing an email client. They're developing...
The email's stretching it a little bit.
Well, from what I understand, the ultimate goal for it is to make it pretty much your next PDA.
Yes, which would be cool.
Alright.
Also, since it does have that infrared port, I guess, some printers are capable of printing via infrared, so you can probably print using your PSP. It is possible, I guess.
It'll be interesting to see what accessories and games and all the advanced features they'll have for it.
Yeah, I heard there's even, in Japan, there's a TV tuner coming out for the PSP.
Ah, just like the old Game Gear.
Yeah. I hope it does a little better, though.
Yeah. I think right now PSP looks like it has a successful launch. You know, I thought the system would be a little more sold out, but I can still find it here in town.
Yeah, I still find it
pretty
in
much
town.
store, but it still looks like it's selling pretty well, though.
You know,
it sounds like Sony, 1 million units. That's a lot to go through, but I think this will catch on. You know, especially with the price drop, maybe.
I wonder what the USB port, if you could actually make a controller. Would that be possible?
Why would you?
Because
it would be possible.
Because that would make it able, like, to do shooters, you know, easier and stuff like that, and also for gaming.
Well, I've seen stuff where they got little keyboards.
You know how PlayStation already has their PlayStation 2. They already have their really small controllers from Mad Cats and whatnot. It'd be cool if they made little controllers like that for the PSP.
Yeah, well, I don't know why would you want it.
That would be neat, you know. It adds some gameplay value.
That kind of defeats the purpose of a portable video game system.
Yeah, how Logitech is coming out with that stand, you know, so you can also angle it really tightly.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of nice in a way.
That's mainly for music and movies and picture slideshow. Though.
You have to think of the unique gamers here, Chris.
Anything else you guys might want to see of the PSP here in the future? Anything else?
Final Fantasy 11.
SOCOM 3. That's about it.
Pretty much got all those out of the way. Tetris, we gotta have our Tetris.
Yeah.
As much as I like Lumines, I'd like to have Tetris on the PSP.
It'll come. Tetris has been around for every system since how long?
Yeah.
The NES?
Since NES and Game Boy, you know, it's the thing that defined portable gaming, Tetris.
Yeah. Everybody knows Tetris.
And then there's also, wasn't there that issue that PSP wasn't being original with its game titles?
Yeah, there's a lot of ports right now. I think the main concept people are trying to get across to start off.
PlayStation.
We don't care.
Portable PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
There's a lot of ports coming out from the PS2, you know, and a lot of not as many unique games. There's some like Lumines.
Well, usually at the system launch, there's not a whole lot of unique games in here.
I can explain it like this.
DS.
Yeah.
Originally, there was a PlayStation for it's like $200, right?
It launched at $300.
$300.
The PlayStation 1 launched at what, $400?
Now,
no, $300. Saturn launched at $400.
Now, this last year, they made a $150 PlayStation, which is like what? It's like 9 the size of the book.
Yes.
And the fact that the cords are bigger than the system itself is funny. And then, now, they have a system, which is a PlayStation basically, you know. Same price, $50, $40 per game when they come out new. It's $250, but it's portable.
Yeah, and it's nice. I'd like to see the games go down a little bit. $50 for some of those games, that's a little too spendy for a portable game, in my opinion.
At least what they should do is release an adapter so you can hook this up to your TV. Then I can understand the $40 for a game.
Yeah.
Because then it's not really portable anymore.
Yeah.
It's a console.
Yeah. Hopefully the games will come down in price as...
Or if they release a PSP player for the PS2.
That wouldn't... that'd be kind of depleting the point, though.
Yeah, but I've seen some concept art where some people have put a UMD slot in a PS3. Of course, that's just concept art.
Yeah, maybe we'll see connectivity features with that instead of the PS2. Alright then, is there anything else guys to say before we sign off?
Nope, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, for Chris Harpster and Joey, Roadkill and Dark Assassin here, this is Dale Coulis, aka Gruel, signing off. Make sure to check out vgpub.com for all the coverage of PSP. We got some reviews in the works. We already got some screens and movies of several PSP games on the site. Make sure to check out vgpub.com for all the latest gaming needs. And hopefully we'll see you in the future. Thank you.